Hey guys, it's Rocko here and welcome back to the channel. Today's podcast or spaces is probably one of the most important ones that I've done since being part of this LunaClassic community. In today's podcast, guys, we've got Leonardo from Ceramic Team who'll be talking to us about the USTC Repeg plan. They launched their USTC white paper a couple of days ago. In this video, guys, we explain to you what it is, what it's going to do, and also take questions from a lot of the important people in the community. So make sure you watch the video till the end. There will be a smaller summary video coming out in the channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button. If you want to support the channel, guys, do hit that like button and subscribe. The plan that we'll be discussing to swap all the USTC to USTY and restart the supply of USTC at zero and build a over collateralized algorithmic stablecoin. Let's get into the video, and if you have any questions, do comment below. I read and reply to every comment, and if you don't have a comment, just put a thumbs up, put LunaClassic to the moon, let's repeg USTC, or just a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. So without further ado, enjoy the video. I'll catch you guys next video with the summary.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all having a very good weekend. Welcome to another weekly Spaces. We've got Leonardo here today who will be talking to us about the white paper that he released on the USTC Repeg. Hopefully we have Lunatic joining. If any of you know where he is, if you could message him. Juris Protocol was meant to co-host with me, but he's not here. My also regular speaker, Rexy's not here, but we have got Redline, so let me invite him to speak. And then Leonardo, if you request to speak, I'll bring you up on as well. Usually we start talking about Bitcoin and LunaClassic news and then USTC Repeg. If you have got time, we'll follow the normal schedule, talk about Bitcoin, LunaClassic, and then the USTC Repeg. But if you're short on time, let me know. I can bring you up straight away. So guys, Bitcoin is breaking into new all-time highs. Really bullish what we saw, what happened with the Trump win. Crypto market literally mooned. Bitcoin now breaking out into new all-time highs. This is a pattern we've seen quite a lot, where the price comes to near all-time highs. We saw it back in around 20k. Price was hovering around 20k for I think 3-4 weeks, and then we had that big breakout. Here we didn't even consolidate for longer than 2 weeks, and the price is breaking out. It's also pulling a lot of altcoins. Dogecoin's up 30%. Cardano, I don't know why I've not been following Cardano. That's up 25%. Some meme coins up even more. LunaClassic is not pumped as much, but it has whilst I'm talking on the spaces, it is pumping in the last few hours, but not as much as some of the other coins. But it has broken out. As long as we hold above that sort of 0.0001 level, I'd expect to see LunaClassic. My next level is 0.0017. So big move for LunaClassic coming as well, and hopefully if we can get the USTC Repeg narrative going, we can see some upward movement for USTC as well. In terms of Juris, the development's going to start 5th or 4th of December. We had LL69 confirm it. I don't know where he is today, so we won't be able to get an update. But we did speak. We had a team meeting earlier. Redline joined as well, where we talked, but I'm not sure where he is today. So that's quick intro. Leonardo is here. Leonardo, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. If you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Another Englishman. This first time I'm speaking to you. I wasn't expecting you to be English for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, posso parlare italiano, se tu vuoi parlare italiano, ma but I'm English. English Italian.
Oh wow, that's a big mix.
A mix. So it's good. Yeah, no, it's good. I'm glad I'm glad everyone can hear me speak, and I'm glad to be on. I'm glad you invited me. So thank you very much.
Yes, well, if you've been following with me, I've been trying to help anyone that's got anything good to do with the USTC since the Luna crash. It's been lots of pain. There's been Redline and Fafi team tried it. Alex previously tried it. So I've always tried. People always say, "Oh, why are you supporting them?" But try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Try to support them. Use my platform to, share the message that you're doing. And if we can repeg, amazing. If we can just get the narrative going, get people working together, thinking, that will be a win for me. So, Leonardo, Do you want to give us a bit of your background? I know it's
Yeah.
a bit, so some
Well,
people don't
well,
want to share much.
well.
But
Yeah.
what's the
I mean,
background?
oh, sorry. Apologies. I just want to. I just want to. I guess get my points across first, and then I can open it up, to questions and stuff. Just to follow on from the points that you made earlier on, right? It's not easy. Okay, a repeg's not easy. It's complex. How many years has it been? Since it's 2 years, still not repegged. Now, when I put this proposal together, when I announced it, it was on the 28th of September. Yeah, that's when I put the schedule together. We're now on this. Well, it's what the 10th of November, and it's just us, right? There's nothing else that's kind of tangible that's manifesting itself, and that's kind of a testament to say that this isn't an easy job. So I just want to say that the structure of the timeline. I just want to cover off the timeline, okay? Because to give you some method to madness, because it's not, I guess, what people would normally expect. Normally it's a case of you have a proposal, it's discussed on Commonwealth, it goes to a vote, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, bang, it's either passed or failed. Yeah. This is a very, very different beast. Okay. This is because it's quite complex. So when we put this proposal when we put the timeline together, there's certain factors that we had to take into account. Number one, okay, it was important that we had proper community discussion. Okay. And this is at two levels. At my level, okay, which is the investor level, but then also at a technical level as well. Okay. Which is at a ceramic level. And that's why we've structured the way we've structured it, so we can allow for proper debate and discussion. And that's been really, really good so far, because since we announced on the 28th there, we kind of started working on it, but we've also had a ton of input from the community as well. Okay, that input has gone into the theory white paper. And even before, we're about to have the Commonwealth discussion, so going down into another layer of detail. We've already had input on that. So, the white paper that you see and that you've read, okay, I can tell you is going to change. Yeah. And it's going to change for the better. And that's down from, that's down to the input that we've had from the community, which is amazing. Another point that I want to make, okay, which again is a positive, is a shout out to the community. Okay. Is, the way the timeline is structured, the way it is, okay, it's resource. Yeah. I mean, there's only myself and Ceramic working on this. As you guys can already see, right, we have put a ton of work into this, but it's kind of like not enough. I mean, you can't do this with two people. And, the way the community has responded and supported, it's been amazing. I mean, for instance, the theory paper is quite a detailed technical paper. Now, there's a lot of information there because we wanted to show you, okay, the level of research that we did, okay, to be able to come up with this proposition. And, for many, it's just gone way over their head, right? Okay. But for others, right, they can digest it, and they've digested it and they fed back, and it's brilliant. Okay. Because, like I say, you're going to see some changes to it. Now, okay, what's going to happen? Okay. We're going to have a Commonwealth discussion. It's in parallel to what's happening on X. It's going to be technically orientated. It's going to be hosted by Ceramic. Okay, so I'm Mr. General Investor. Ceramic is the, he's the architect, right? Okay, he's the genius behind this proposal. We then move on to implementation. Yeah, again, it's going to be the same process. Okay, we'll announce it. We then have a Commonwealth discussion. And then off the back of that, okay, we come up with a repeg proposal. That then goes to voting. It votes. It's a yes or a no. If it's a yes, absolutely fantastic. Okay, we're on our way to a repeg. If it's no, then, we respect governance. Yeah. I mean, ceramic will move on, and I go back into my, into the LUNC ranks, right? I'm not selling. LUNC for me, okay, is it's my third bear market now. It's my third bull market now. My second was Dogecoin. Okay, that was my big bet. And this one is LUNC, right? I believe that LUNC and USTC, okay, are going to do very, very well in this coming bull run. Hence the reason why I've been around for a couple of years, and why, okay, for me it's not a waste of time. Okay, putting all the work that I have, to bring this proposal to fruition. So, that's the structure of the timeline. I mean, we basically did it, okay, because we wanted community input, okay, not just let's just listen to the community, yeah, okay, tick, move on. You've already shaped the proposal, and in all essence, right? Okay, we work for the community, right? This is a community initiative, yeah. The job's complex. I think no one disputes that. Okay, and the discussions, yeah, they kind of like need to happen at two levels, an investor level and a detailed technical level. So that's the timeline. You guys hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you good, yeah.
Yes, we can.
Thank God I wasn't talking to myself for 5 minutes then, right? So that's what I wanted to get, so that's what I wanted to get across, right? I mean, we have there's the white paper, we've got a Q&A. Okay. I'm going to be working on a Q&A for the, for the theory paper as well. And like I say, we're at, I guess, we're at stage one, right? We're right at the beginning of this process. Yeah. And, so I can understand why I'm getting comments like, well, where's the plan? You've got the theory. Where's the plan? Where's the plan? Well, you need to define the theory before you come up with a plan. And that's what we're currently going through at the moment. We have an idea, okay, just like we have an idea with the theory paper, but, we need to discuss it with the community. We need to get input. Okay. We need to get, so we can basically, plan, okay, and come up with a proper implementation plan. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. No, thanks for explaining the process. I think that you had a timeline post. I've seen in one of your posts where you talked about that you're going to make this proposal, implementation plan, governance vote. So yeah, hopefully it clarifies the people that were trying to understand what's happening.
Yeah, great. And it's all on track. Yeah, we're all on track, so, there's no slippage. Everything's going according to plan. Yeah. So, so keep the feedback flowing, and let's just open it up to questions. That's all I wanted to say. Okay.
No, thanks, Leonardo. Well, maybe I'll ask the first. Well, I'll ask the first question. How do you explain that in like few words? So, what is this Repeg? So how it's going to work? How could you explain it in a couple of minutes for someone that's a investor, not a technical guy?
Yeah. Well, okay, then, what we do, okay, is, step one, okay, there's a conversion, yeah, which is, USTC to USTY. Why do we do that? Well, okay, the objective of the proposal is to come up with an over collateralized stable coin. Now, what that means, okay, is that you have to collateralize. I can't even get the word out. You have to collateralize everything, yeah? So, literally, okay, at a basic level, imagine for every $1, you have to have $1.60 in reserve, yeah? In case things go bankrupt, in case everyone decides to withdraw at exactly the same time. Now, with USDC, okay, it's dead. It's a wreck, right? I mean, we don't even know. I mean, how much UTC is there, in the chain, okay, that is dead. It's untouchable, yeah? It's on dead wallets, dormant wallets, zombie wallets. We don't know. Well, you have to self-collateralize that. You have to collateralize the whole lot. So, okay, by changing it to, USTY, okay, then, you allow for options, right? You allow for a conversion to USTC, okay, and then you also allow, for, I guess, opportunities, right? Okay, for the investor, because for instance, you can stake, like USTC. I mean, you can do more with it than you can. So you can do more with USTY than you can with, USTC. Okay, so that's step one. It's the conversion, yeah. Step two, okay, the way the CMM, okay, has been structured, yeah, it's designed to actually, to not only over collateralize, okay, but also start generating revenue, yeah, and that's in conjunction with a collateral basket, okay, that appreciates in value. Okay, that appreciation is higher than inflation, and that generates a profit, and that profit is given to investors. So, okay, it's so USTY is a bridge, okay, for us to be able to build a collateralized or an over collateralized stablecoin. The other benefit of this, okay, is, we want to build something, okay, which at some point, okay, it can be compliant. Yeah, it can be compliant with all the different, like regulations that are starting to establish themselves at a global level. MiCA, for instance, right? MiCA, that just represents, the European Union, right? Okay, at some point there'll be something in the US. Okay, there are other jurisdictions. Yeah. Okay, they'll have their own different regulations. Now, okay, if it's USTC, okay, then as in USTC today, forget it. Yeah, you're never ever going to get that to comply, with any of the regulatory bodies, and that's what we want. So, yeah. So, in summary, okay, in layman's terms, okay, this is our route to a $1 USTC stablecoin.
So I have a question, if you don't mind me asking. So where does the collateral come from for the system? Is it like a CDP style loan-based system, or are we selling the tokens, or how does it work? Say, in terms of getting the collateral.
Yeah. That's we're in the process of finalizing now, right? That's going to be covered off, in the kind of like the implementation, right? Okay, where the funding is going to come from. Now we'll need some external funding. Okay, obviously, to go into this collateral, to go into the CMM. Now, that funding, I mean, it's a key point, right? Because the bigger the funding, the more you can mint. Okay, the more it can grow. And, that's something that, we're in the process of currently figuring out. There's no specific, there's no specific confirmation of where all that, of where the source is going to come from.
Okay, that'd be kind of an important part of it, wouldn't it?
Well, that'd be a fundamental important. That'll be a very, very crucial, important part, because unlike the current MMM, right? Okay, which is based on, price volatility and so on. Okay, this is going to be based on, collateralization, on the collateralized assets. Okay, that are going to be picked, that are going to generate a profit, that are going to help grow the ecosystem. You're right.
Okay,
but what I can't do.
Say even if we use some of the community pool now and we fund, say there's $500,000 there, and we use that to initially start off, say, and we mint out USTC. So say more people want to buy it. How do you grow from there? Where does collateral come from if you want to grow, to expand, say?
Well, you could incentivize the investor to participate in the collateral pool. So they would, loan, give us a loan. Okay. Make an investment into that pool. That gets locked up. They earn a reward. They could even, for instance, potentially, okay, just, not actually loan us the amount of, I don't know, like 2 BTC, for instance. They could loan us the interest that they would earn off of 2 BTC, and that could go into the pool. There's a number of different options, right? That's in the process of being finalized now. And I know I'd love to turn around to say, yeah, this is exactly what we're going to do, but it's not ready for, not well, it's not. We're not really ready to go into tons of detail about it yet.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, like I'm looking forward to seeing when you do have that worked out.
Yeah, but you can ask as well, right? I mean, like, Ceramic's going to be on the, he's going to start the come-off discussion in 4 days and so on. Now, there'll be a lot of overlap, okay, between between the question that you've asked, okay, between the theory, okay, and also the implementation. So, I encourage you to sort of go on there and ask, right? I mean, every question we've had so far, we've answered, right? So it's not like we've been avoiding the topic. I mean, we have a massive list, right, of Q&As, okay, that we put together in this past month. Well, they've all been community questions, right? So it's not like we're, ducking the answer or anything. We just want to be in a position to give factual information, yeah? And that's what people are looking for now, because, we've had a month of discussion. We pulled everything together. We're pulling it together. We're still getting input, but we have a timeline to work to. Yeah. And that timeline ultimately, okay, it's going to be the 12th of December. The 12th of December, it's going to go to a vote, and, and then people are going to make a decision, based on all the data that they have to hand. That's the key day. And that's what we're working to.
Okay, just without knowing, how you're going to develop, like there's a number of ways you can do it, but you're talking about designing vastly different systems depending on what way you go with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, this finalized, yeah. And those systems, right? Okay. And they're there. I mean, that's something that, Ceramic's been working on for a while now. And also as well, okay, those systems, yeah, they're not, they exist already. Okay. Because if people look at, the whole, CZ Zodiac, right? Okay. The whole, DeFi ecosystem, okay, that he's created. I mean, I'm actually part of that system. Yeah. I mean, I'm one of his projects, right? Okay. Me and him, I mean, I've known him for 3 years now. Okay. We created a rewards token, right? It's called Dodge God, which is part of the CZ Zodiac, ecosystem. And that's, what can I say? I mean, so for instance, I mean, that is paired to, that's paired to CZUSD, which is a stable coin, that he created, okay, to be able to, add, to be able to be the liquidity for the number of projects that he's got in the ecosystem. Well, okay, he maintains a peg, okay, for CZUSD. Now it's a very, very different peg, to what we're proposing here, okay, because that peg is specifically, okay, to support, the projects, okay, in his ecosystem. Yeah, they're basically tribes, right? Okay, and that means that the mechanisms for the peg, are very, very different. But okay, that mechanism generates a profit. That's the point I was trying to make. So for instance, okay, if you look at my project specifically, okay, which is an alternative to Dogecoin mining, okay, now that generates Dogecoin, okay, from a transactional tax. Okay, so, just like a rewards token and so on. But then also as well, okay, the profit, okay, that Repeg system, okay, delivers, that goes towards those projects as well. So me specifically, what that means, okay, is there's an additional level of buy pressure being applied to my project. Yeah. So what happens is the profit that is currently being made with CZUSD, okay, it just gets split between the different trice pools, and it goes in, to help develop their projects. Yeah. Now, okay, what will happen in this case, okay, with, CZUSD, sorry, with USTC, okay, is that profit could be, it's just like the white paper says, right? That profit can be used, to fund different elements of it. Now, there needs to be an incentive, right? There needs to be a reason, okay? There needs to, we don't have the liquidity, okay, to be able to do this on day one, and completely. Okay, but what we need to do is we need to be able to build a system, okay, that we can build upon. Yeah, a system that's safe, secure, okay, and it's robust enough, okay, to be able to to be able to grow. I mean, this is one of the things, okay, that is taking time with this stuff, right? Is, the CMM pool, for instance, right? That will eventually have, billions of dollars in it. Yeah, that's a shit ton of money, right? Okay, that's not up for one developer. That's a team of developers. It needs to be properly decentralized. The code needs to be audited. There's a number of different factors, okay, that, need to be implemented to make it happen. Now, here's one thing for you, right? Okay, with CZUSD, okay, when that launched as a stable coin, I think after the first month, it was exploited, right? It crashed, yeah? It crashed, okay? Well, the exploit was fixed, okay? And it took 6 months, yeah, for people that lost, okay, to be made whole again. And since then, okay, it's been attacked a number of times, right? It's just crypto, but in each time, okay, it's maintained it's maintained its peg, yeah, the level that it was designed to be maintained at, and that's no easy task, right? Okay, and and that's the thing that I'll say. Okay, when people review, the information that we pull together, when they review, ceramics history, when they review CZ Zodiac, right? They need to look at the charts. Yeah, I mean the charts don't lie, right? You look at you look at USTC today. I mean, since the exploit, okay, which is what, 3 years ago, it's kept its peg, right? It's doing exactly what it's been designed to do. And that's true for the other projects as well. Yeah, I mean my project, right? It's a revolve. My project's been running now for what, 2.5 years. Yeah, it's fine. The dApp's been running for 2.5 years. It's been ticking away, doing its thing. It's been attacked. Of course, it's been attacked several times. But it's been fine. Okay, because of how it's designed, and by the fact that you don't just design and walk away from it. Okay, you have to design and you have to maintain it as well. And that's the other thing, with this proposal, right? Okay, it's the fact that you don't just create and walk away. Okay, you create it and it's a start. It's something which is going to be, an ongoing initiative. Now, the thing that I will say, right? Okay, is if we didn't think it was possible, then we wouldn't be here, actually. Is the reality of the situation. Yeah, if we didn't firmly believe, okay, that that we could achieve it, that it's something that we could do, then we wouldn't even be here. Yeah, because of I mean, the thing is, right? Okay, is Redline, right? Okay, you were part of the quant team, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Now. Okay. That was a big job, right? That was a big job. You had to do like an analysis of it, right? The community paid you for your work, right? Okay, I'm not disputing that. Okay, because people, this stuff doesn't happen for free, right? Okay, that's I'm not disputing that for 1 second, right? Okay, what I'm saying is, right? Okay, it's there's an element of money here involved, right? And and kind of like resource that needs to be invested in it. And it takes time. Yeah. It's like, so what we're proposing, right, is an infrastructure investment. Yeah. Is a long-term investment. Okay. What we're proposing is to be able to build a system, okay, that is going to be robust enough to be able to, to be able to grow. Okay. As, to be able to grow as, LUNC and USTC grows. Yeah. And, what I'm saying is, okay, is, what am I saying? I'm starting to sidetrack here. What I'm saying is, we need, the proposal's gonna kind of cover it off.
Yeah, I suppose really we just need a bit more specifics as to how it's actually going to operate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you do. No, yeah, you do. And that's something. And I'm not turning around to you saying, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, we've given you enough. I'm agreeing with you, and I'm saying, okay, that it's part of the process. But I'm saying to people, okay, that are listening to this, right, is just go with the flow. Yeah, just acknowledge the process, right? Okay, your questions will be answered. Yeah, and guess what? If they're not answered, okay, then when this proposal goes to a vote, okay, it's not going to be good enough, and it's going to fail. Okay, it fails. We move on. But it's a process.
Oh yeah, like and I took a quick look at CZUSD. I know you said it's kind of different, all right. Not like I'm looking forward to seeing how it's done, basically. So I think we just need more specifics as to how it's going to operate before anybody, before we can make an informed decision on it as a community, basically.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you do. Absolutely. At the moment, see, at the moment, okay, it's all about the theory, right? We have a process to go through. The theory will impact the implementation, right? Now, okay, we're halfway through it. Okay, the implementation, okay, the white paper gets released on the 21st of November. That's when the discussions start. Yeah. Up until then, okay, then, we'll take all the feedback that we can, from the community, right? Because like I say, okay, the theory impacts, the implementation. So, keep the feedback flowing, right? I mean, we've had like a ton of feedback already. I would say, people listening and so on, then, I mean, we take it on board, right? I mean, Redline, right? I mean, we've had like discussions, I guess. Yeah. And I guess I've responded to everything you've said. So.
Yeah, no, you have. No, I don't say anything that way. It's just that, like, I think as a community, before people can make a decision, we need to know whether it's a CDP style system, whether we're selling tokens. Do you know what I mean? We need to specifically know what's going to happen. Do you know, even from a theoretical point of view, that's missing there at the moment. Like, we understand that there's collateral pool and that, but how the collateral comes there, that's a fundamental part of how this is going to work, basically.
Yeah.
So we need to see that.
Yeah.
Do you know, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, great. I'm looking forward to showing you. Yeah, great. Okay.
Okay. So you mentioned CZUSD? What's the Twitter account for it? I'll read into it as well, and the community can look into it as well.
The Twitter account, what for the CZ Zodiac and stuff? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll forward that to you after the call if that's okay.
Yeah, if you DM it to me, I'll be interested in looking into it.
Yeah, no problem.
And then, so the USTC is going to be the new over collateralized algorithmic stablecoin. What's the purpose of USTY?
Well, USTY is almost like a bridge. Okay, what you're doing, okay, at top level, I mean, there's a lot of value, right, in USTC today. What you're doing, okay, is you're filtering through the crap. Okay, the zombie wallets, yeah, the USD, you're filtering through the crap and you're taking the value and you're putting it into, the new USTC. That's what it is. Okay, I mean, USTY is going to be around forever, right? Because there's USTY, there's UST that is locked in the blockchain that's never ever going to go.
Okay, well, I've read the proposal and I've linked to YouTube video. I tried to limit it to 10 minutes, but it took me over 20 minutes to sort of share my thoughts. A lot of the questions I was going to ask Redline have asked already. Those questions on technical details, which you said is going to be coming out later. He mentioned about growing collateral as well. I think that's especially with over collateralized stablecoins, it's really hard. It's harder to grow them. You mentioned potentially looking for outside investments.
Yeah, there needs to be an incentive, right? There needs to be like an incentive for that. And yeah, that's something that we're looking at. We're also looking at the option of, like I said, okay, where someone's not actually they're not really giving us they are giving us a loan, but what they're doing, okay, is they're giving us the interest, right? So they might have like 2 or 3 BTC. Okay, they put it towards the collateral basket. But what they put towards the basket is the interest they earn off of that 2 or 3 BTC, if that makes sense. So, so there's a number of options, right? Okay. There's also a tax as well. Okay. A small amount of tax that gets applied, okay, with transactions. Okay. Well, that tax will go towards the collateral pool as well. It's not huge. Okay. But, it's one of these like, small transactional taxes that over time, okay, and transactions just, increases the amount as well.
Yes, no, I think that would be difficult, but yeah, given incentivizing it would help us anyway. In terms of utility as well, so when one of the main reasons UST went crazy is like the anchor protocol and the 20% rewards, and I'm not suggesting we do that. Juris, Terraport, Selenium, they're gonna give the stablecoin a use case, people can go borrow against it. But what have you thought about other utilities, like give people a reason to buy this new stablecoin?
Yeah, I mean, similar. I mean, they're similar. I mean, why would people buy? I mean, why would people buy? Okay, people were buying USDC before. What? Because of the interest that they earn on it. Yeah.
The 20% on anchor, right? That's
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah, yeah,
every
yeah.
new beta is.
Which was fixed, right? Which was fixed. Okay, and ultimately, what? Unsustainable? Would you say?
Yeah, looking back, right, we should have all seen it coming.
But it was nice,
Definitely
right?
unsustainable.
But it was nice. So yeah, I mean, there'll be like there'll be incentives, right? Okay, there'll be incentives. I mean, what you're doing, it's almost like LUNC, right? Okay, there'll be incentives that are geared around the whole, um, the whole, new USTC. I mean, if you want a feel for it, okay, what I'll do, Rocko, right, is when I say the links and so on, I'll show you all the different, I'll give you an idea of all the other parts of the ecosystem, right? In the CZ Zodiac sign. So you can farm, you can mint, there's a whole load of different things, okay, that you can do, to earn some income. There'll be options. But ultimately it's a stable coin, right? As opposed to, just like any other stable coin.
My other question was about the teams. So you mentioned you're like the investor, I guess, and you've founded a project before. Could you share more details on the people working it? Because I think that's one of the questions people are asking. It's all great, some of the monetary discussions. I love that. I'm a big reader of Ray Dalio stuff, monetary supply, inflation, printing money. I love that stuff. So I love the theory that you're explaining. But I think people are asking obviously the technical details, and also can a team deliver it in a safe way? Can they do all the analysis? Is there going to be scenario showing, if this much BTC gets sold at this price, what happens? So yeah, could you talk a bit more about the team?
Okay, the team that'll be under ceramic, right? That'll turn into reality. Well, okay, that needs to be defined, right? I mean, that needs to be defined. There was a team in place, okay, or there were people in place. They've now moved on, I guess, is the best way to put it. There are gaps, right? There are gaps, yeah. But those gaps are like, there's something called GitHub, right? There was, GitHub. Okay, you could potentially pull people in to do those jobs. So that's a work in progress at the moment. So I can't give any names out yet of who's going to be working with ceramic on this repeg because it's not been fully defined yet.
Okay, because LL69 or Rexy can correct me, but I think there was a prop passed before that people working on sort of the L1 at least, or I'm assuming USTC would fall under that category, working on the MM module would be fully KYC'd to get like paper jobs. So is that the plan, to be fully KYC'd for that team that's working on it?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, the moment, if this proposal passes, right, okay, the first thing that's going to happen, right, is ceramic gets KYC'd. Okay, and I think the way it works, right, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, you want it, it's the person reviewing the code, right? That's KYC. It's their responsibility, yeah. Is that right?
I think Stratcall updated a new prop. Initially, it was anyone working on it. Juris, Redline, Rexy, could you confirm that? It's only the reviewer of the code who implements it needs to be KYC'd?
I think it's changed now. I know when it was initially there, anyone that had any contribution had to be KYC'd, but I think that a governance proposal passed, but I'm open to correction on that as well. I'm not 100%.
Well, okay. I mean, at the very least, right? Okay, if the proposal passes, Ceramic will KYC himself. KYC is not a big deal anymore, I don't think. Okay, I think, the way, okay, this isn't crypto, 5 years ago, right? Crypto today, it's on the verge of going into the mass market, mainstream. People, I think we all understand, right? Okay, that KYC is a fact of life, right? So, for instance, when you're advertising for devs on GitHub and devs, you put a job offer out, okay, for contribution and stuff, then it's not been a problem, finding devs that have a history of work as well as KYC as well. I think everyone understands now that KYC is just a fact of life.
Well, I'm not actually opposed to people that don't KYC. I'm more into code audits than KYC itself, so that wouldn't be something. KYC, it's more the community, I think, is that have issue with it.
Yeah, KYC, right? I'm kind of like you, okay, because I'm familiar with GitHub and stuff, right? Okay, for me, you don't need KYC because you've got GitHub. Yeah, GitHub is all about reputation. You have a history of work. Okay. I think it's better than any CV, that you could ever put together. But then I also understand the other point, right? Because KYC isn't a protection, for a hack or anything. It's a trail. Yeah. So if someone does something, okay, there's a trail that you can follow, okay, to, essentially get it sorted, whatever it is. So, I'm kind of like, so I'm like, I'm not a big fan of KYC. Okay. I'm a big GitHub fan. Yeah. I think your reputation is everything. If you have a solid GitHub presence, okay, then, that's just everything, right? It's just the history of your work, right? And it's something that you can't bullshit on, right? It's not like a CV where you can, you come up with, I did this, this, and this. It's just the reality of your work. So, but I understand, okay, that KYC is a fact of life, right? So, I just think that, I think you agree too, right? I mean, like, whether you KYC or not is up to you, right? And I respect that. Okay. But you can also understand, but you're like me, I guess, right? You can see the point of it, right?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a sensibility point of view, and especially when you're working on decentralized money and stuff that's going to go against government regulations, and I can see them tightening again. That's for me. That's why I prefer my identity hidden if I was working on this kind of stuff, and it means that nobody working on this can become a target. Do you know what I mean? So from a security point of view, that way it's better. It means the chain can't be censored by government. Basically, for me, governance should be law, not governments, basically.
Yeah, and it's a balance, right? I mean, I agree, right? But it's a balance because you also have to look at it from the eyes of an investor, right? I mean, if I've invested in something, okay, and and I've lost some money, then I want to know that there's some sort of recourse behind it. Okay, now, okay, you can create systems, okay, that are robust enough, okay, that you think, well, obviously your money's safe and that lot. But then, it's not enough for that peace of mind, right? It's not enough for that peace of mind. So yeah, but, long story short, in terms of answering the question, if the proposal passes, then, the Ceramics KYC'd. Okay, if the developers that are going to be working with him need to be KYC'd, then they'll be KYC'd as well. I mean, this project's just too big, right? It's too. I mean, the opportunity here, right? Okay, if we can do this, yeah, and if the proposal passed, if we can actually do this, right? Okay, then this is something that a year ago was an impossibility, and 2 years ago was an impossibility. Yeah, how many people have said that USTC is wrecked, it's never going to come back, it's finished, it's gone? Well, in crypto, right, everything's impossible until it's not, and it's not. And USTC is not an impossibility. USTC, okay, is a reality. and it's going to be based on the proposal. And like I say, okay, by the time we get to voting on the proposal, then all the information will be out there. Yeah, all your questions will be answered, right? All your points will be answered, and then it's a simple vote. Do I want it? Yes. Do I want it? No. That's it.
I guess similar to you guys as well. I don't think KYC is mandatory. Again, code and blockchain, you can verify, not trust verify and all that good stuff. But I respect the LUNC governance, which voted for KYC. So I guess we'll have to follow governance. I've got 2 more questions, and I'll open up the mic to the speakers and people that are listening. If you guys have any questions, do request to speak. You can speak. I'm not sure how long Leonardo's got. We usually go for 2 hours. So if you guys have any questions, do raise your hand and we can post them to Leonardo. In terms of the proposal, Leonardo, have you thought about the costs? Can you share anything at the moment?
No.
I mean, you've thought about it, but you can't share.
We've got no. There's costs involved now, but yeah, I mean, it's like, but then it's not. Well, okay, there's cost, right? But then there's a benefit, okay, on working on this. There's a benefit if you're a developer, okay, on assisting and helping make this happen, okay, and that's the prestige behind it, because I cannot stress enough, right, that if we're able to repeg USTC and bring it back from the dead in parallel with what's happening with LUNC at the moment, okay, then I truly believe, right, okay, that that we can be a top 10 coin again. 100% believe that. And people that are associated, developers that are associated, okay, in making the repeg a reality, right? Okay, that's going to be a ton of kudos, right? I think that's going to,
people don't work for free though, right? Because there's other blockchains that are paying you lots of money to work. So people, I understand the kudos, and there's, for me as well, I think I could probably make more money focusing on other chains and people on here as well. But people also still want to make money.
Oh,
so I think
absolutely. Hey, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, look, like, ceramic, right? Okay, to get to the point, right? Okay, if you go into detail, right, and you look at his theory paper, right? Okay, that is a complex, I would say, an impressive body of work, right? Okay, he did that for free. Yeah. And, and that took a while to put together, right? Okay, he's been in conversations with some of the devs, okay, like the Terraport devs and stuff, a few of the devs in terms of, putting structure to the proposal, taking what he'd done with CZUSD and applying it to, USTC. That takes time, right? Okay, he's done it off his own back. Yeah, he's done it off his own back. Okay, because he believes it's an option. Obviously, okay, there's you have to pay for it, right? People have to eat. And it's gonna come in the proposal, but it's not going to be, I would say, okay, I can't give you an idea of cost, but I can say it's not going to be as in, oh, we put this out to tender, okay, and these are the people that have responded to it, and this is how much it's going to cost, right? Not like the old days, yeah, not like in the level 1 days, right, where it was a case of, well, you want me to work, okay, here's my hourly rate and all this stuff, right? Okay, there has to be an element of vocation involved in this. Yeah, there has to be an element of belief. And anyway, right? Okay, like for instance, if you give someone a chunk of USTC today, okay, and then say, right, okay, and it's worth $2 million. Okay, when it's, I don't know, when it hits $1, okay, that's a pretty good incentive, right? Okay, to help make it a reality. So not only do you get the kudos of being one of the developers that made the impossible happen, you're also financially rewarded by the fact that, you potentially received a chunk of USTC, okay, at today's price, okay, and, you're cashing it out, okay, when it's, $1, right? And we're not saying, right, okay, and it's not a case of, this isn't a scenario, right, in which it's a case of, oh, okay, I've done the white paper. I've done the we've gone through this whole process. It's really complex. It's now going to cost you a freaking fortune, and we want it up front now before we do any work. Yeah, it's going to be. It's when you see the proposal for costs and so on. Okay, it's going to be structured. There might be some initial payments. Okay, for people to eat, they're not going to be huge. Okay, the reward is going to be at the end. Yeah, not at the end. when it's, oh, okay, it's like $1 now, right? Where's my money? Okay, it's going to be right. Okay, well, it's $1 now. Okay, here's your first payment, and so on for like, I don't know, 6 months to a year, whenever. Okay, because, well, I say 6 months to whenever, right? Okay, you give everyone like money on day one, then they'll probably end up dumping it, right? So things crash, right? But you structure it, yeah, because you want to be able to support, you want to be able to, support, okay, the project as it moves forwards, as opposed to, here it is, I've done my work, now I'm gone. But there needs to be an element of, there needs to be it's like me, right? And you, okay, and Redline and others, right? Okay, we're here because we believe, yeah. I'm not here because I'm getting paid by the hour. Yeah, I'm here because I believe that we could do something good. And the people that are going to be involved and helping, okay, the devs and stuff to repeg this thing. Well, if they don't have this belief, then they probably won't be involved, because it's not going to be, an initial financial reward, right? Okay, for them to get involved. Okay, that's, the financial reward is only one element of it.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. There should be not just, we'll just give you USTC and then you make money. There should be like a balanced payment, and we've discussed that before on previous proposals, like a USTC bounty program. So no, that's understandable. Well, final, I guess it's not a question. We need to also think just a word on it is sharing my thoughts on this. We probably need to think about Binance as well, because they're still burning USTC. So how, again, I know some people don't care as much, but it's still money that Binance is burning for us. So we probably need to give that a thought as well, what they think of it.
Well, Binance, right? Okay, we basically, that's one of the things, right? With, we've taken an approach, instead of the traditional centralized approach, yeah, where you have, secret meetings, you have all these like offline meetings. So you come up with a plan and go, right, here it is, boom. Okay, what do you think? Right. Okay. We've involved the community right from day one. Yeah. One of the reasons for that, okay, is by involving the community, right? Okay. Pretty much everyone knows, right, that we've got this plan now. And as time flies, right, like as time moves on, more and more people are going to know. So Binance are going to be aware. Yeah. Now with Binance, okay, Binance, we'd love their support. Yeah. We'd love to be able to talk to them. Okay. We're an open door to them, right? If they want to know anything about the project, then, they just need to speak to us. Right. Okay. But, we're not gonna see, the thing is, right? Okay. Binance, they're like any big corporation, right? Okay. Like, you don't like, Dogecoin, right? Okay, who owns Dogecoin?
Would you say, the Litecoin validators, right? They have a big say on.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Right, and I know it's Charlie Lee, but he dumped. Man, that was a big loss for me, him dumping his tokens. But yeah, the Litecoin team still validates it, so I guess they have the most say.
Well, ultimately, right? Okay, the chain. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But ultimately, right? Okay, LUNC is actually, it's the validators that own the chain. And, they're the gatekeepers, and, people like, that delegate with them, they choose who they delegate with, right? But the people that own the chain, I mean, it's like this goes to proposal, okay, and it's going to pass or fail, and it's going to be, the validators are going to be very, very influential in making that happen. So they're the guys that own the chain. I mean, I see Binance as being, they're like Elon with Dodge, right? I mean, with Dodge, Elon has a lot of, does he own Dodge? Many people think he does, right? But he doesn't. He keeps it, it's at a distance, right? But he has a lot of influence over it. Okay. And, I think the same is true with Binance as well, right? Okay. People see how much money they burn. I mean, we're talking like millions of dollars now. Okay, that they burn to support LUNC. The only other coin I think they burn is BNB, right? They don't do any other coin yet. So why would they do that to our stuff? They don't have to. Okay, so people can figure it out. They think, well, why would they do that then? Why would they do that? Would they do that because they're a charity, or would they do that because they're the world's biggest exchange, right? Okay, so with Binance, right? Okay, our door's open. We respect them as a company. They can, they want to speak to us. We're more than happy to speak to them. I know. Okay, I think with Binance, right, with these big companies and so on, it's if they're silent, you're on the right track, right? If they're vocal, if they do something through their actions, then they're not. Hence the reason why you remember back in the day, right, when we decided to remint LUNC again. Okay, they went from burning 100%, of their trading fees to 50%, and they're still burning 50%. And that kind of bugs the shit out of me in a way, because every time I see a nice big number, okay, of Binance burn, as much as I want to ignore it, I multiply it by 2 in my brain. And instead of being like, celebrate, oh, hey, great. Yeah, they've just burnt a billion LUNC. Yeah, that's fantastic. My brain, my heart's saying, yeah, that's fine. But my brain's going, well, hang on a minute. That could have been 2 billion, because, we were lucky that they basically stayed with us, right? After we decided to remint. Okay. And I mean, and that for me anyway, right? Okay. I don't know about you. Okay. But that for me, that was my, that was when I made my commitment to LUNC, right? I was here for the crash. I came as a spectator. I saw it. I thought to myself, how can a $1 billion infrastructure just disappear? Yeah. I thought something's got to happen here, right? Something's going to happen. Okay. And then, when I just followed, I'm just an investor, like many people here, just followed it. And then when the community decided to remint LUNC, I thought, fuck, that's it, finished then, done, it's gone. And then, when there was a proposal, okay, to stop, minting LUNC, and it passed, that was when I jumped into LUNC. Then that was my, I would say, my moment. Okay, where I thought, right, nah, no fucking around now. Excuse the language to anyone. Yeah, no, LUNC's. I'm gonna invest in LUNC. It's gonna be my coin.
I was surprised as well. I mean, I guess I'm an influencer, so I have to tweet in a certain way. But when I'm speaking in a longer format, I can, I guess, explain my reasoning a bit more. But I was surprised as well that the way Binance has supported us. But it's great. I am going to open it up to other people to ask questions. So Juris, Rexy, Redline, and anyone, if you don't want to come up, just comment below. We can ask the question for you to questions to Leonardo for you. Redline, the work that you guys were doing, Binance being quiet affected completion of the quant team's proposal. What's your thoughts on this Binance matter?
On Binance in terms of, sorry, I was just out there for 2 minutes, so I might have missed the last 2 minutes.
So I asked Leonardo that, we changing this sort of, I guess, rebranding, not changing USTY to USTC, and then creating this USTC from zero. So how do you think Binance will react to this? I know you've had some dealings when you were trying to repeg with the quant team.
I think that's something you would actually have to have prior discussion with all of the major exchanges like Kraken, Binance, to make sure they were on board with this before we'd go ahead, because they mightn't agree to this at all, to a ticker change. Like, I know Kraken still uses UST as a ticker, not USTC. So I think you'd have to have prior discussions with all the exchanges in advance of going ahead with this.
Yeah, I think that they'll definitely play a massive part.
Well, there's two. Well, you break that down, right? Okay, there's two, right? There's like implementation. So, for instance, if the community implemented this, then everything stays the same apart from the name, right? So, you've used Kraken as an example. Okay, they're still using the old name, right? So, if we switched, okay, then they could still be using the old name, right? Makes no difference. It doesn't impact them because, how would, would this, the only impact that would have is a positive one, right? Because
no, not really, changes, because we'd have 3 different tickers, and depending on what exchange you enter, they all mean a different thing, if that makes sense to you.
Right, but it's up to the exchange, right? Because it's the exchange's customer, yeah? I mean, did the exchange, okay, does the exchange, okay, my personal recommendation, right, would be to go with the flow, right? Okay, because eventually, okay, there'll be a new self-collateralized stablecoin, USDC, available. Okay, but they don't have to change. That's them. What they're doing is confusing their customers. Now you can't stop that. I can't control their business and say, well, you need to do this. I can advise, okay, and say, well, look, we suggest you change your ticker to USTY as well. Okay, but but I can't make them do it. But then also as well, right, okay, they've got USTC on their exchange, right? USTC is dead. What we're talking about is rubble. Yeah, we're not talking about an asset or a crypto that's transitioning from one thing to another. We're talking about rubble, okay, that we want to convert into a skyscraper, right? We want to build something.
Yeah, but
So what we're
USDC still
saying to
means
them,
something to them. Like, you'd see that it regularly hits like one of the top traded tokens. You know what I mean? In terms of like in volume, like it gets up there into the top 10 regular enough. Like,
yeah, I agree, but it's peanuts, right? It's peanuts. It's like 2 cents. It's it's tiny, which okay, red line, which shows how big an opportunity this is.
yeah, but I'm just
Because
saying,
if they're happily,
you should have prior discussions. Do you know, like it's all right and good saying go with the flow, but I think just before you go with the flow, just maybe feel out the exchanges and see how they are.
no. Well, but what we can do, right, okay, is we can't work for we can't work for an exchange. Okay, we work for ourselves, right? But what we can do is we can be open. We can we can try and approach them. We can reach out to them. Yeah, definitely. Okay, but then, if they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. What can you do? I mean, it's like, what alternatives are there? It's I mean, it's a tough one.
Hello, mate. LUNC Market here.
Hello, Look
Uh,
Market. Hi.
I quite like it. Some part of your proposal. Sorry, I have the kids, everyone here on me, but I sort of like part of it. But I got a bit nervous yesterday when I found out that you are using our brand to make a validator. So LUNC Market now has its own validator.
So
And
who
official one.
Look Market? Who?
LUNC Market official, yeah. And we have been running LUNC Market for a while.
Which
And
validator is that? You mean what? You mean what? The LMDM node? Is that what you mean?
yeah.
Lunk Market Development Node. Oh, okay. You have another one. Okay. Well, that's news to me. All right. Okay. We can fix that. That's not an issue. I'll look at fixing that, because that's not the objective of the node. Because the objective of the node, okay, it's a non-profit node. Okay.
Yeah, same here. Same here. So we agree on both sides. That's good. Yeah.
Well, okay. So what? Okay. All right. So what? Okay. So as a non-profit node, what does your node do?
Well, we are supporting many L2 tokens since April. We opened our website. So
Okay.
has been quite a long time that LUNC Market has been on the LUNC playing
Yeah,
around.
yeah. Okay, well, okay. I mean, from my side, right? Okay, what it is, okay, is any profit made from that is going to go towards funding some kind of marketing campaign, but not.
It's not the issue about the things. It's just the branding. If you could maybe just call it something else, because we have been
Yeah,
working on
yeah,
LUNC Market branding for a while.
yeah. But come on, give me a break, man. I've got a ton of equity and I've got a lot of profit in that node. Do you know how much money I've made since that node's gone on stream? Do you know how much?
I don't know, but probably
Six
there.
dollars. I've made $6. I've made $6 on that node.
I know
Are you
that you
good?
don't make money there. I'm not telling you that you make money or not. And
Yeah.
it's just because I have gotten a few people talking to me that they did send
Yes.
delegates tokens to me, and I was like, no, I have no I have no node open. And they were like, no, I found you there on the internet, and I'm sending you some tokens. And I was like, no, definitely not,
Ah.
because I had nothing opened. And then that's the thing, what I want to talk actually.
Well, okay then. Okay then. This is the first I've heard. Okay, let's take this offline, and we'll get it sorted. I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with that because I've got no equity in that name, right? That name means nothing to me. That name just says, okay, what it's called. And like I said, it's only got like what $6-7 in it.
I
So
know
if
what
the
you
name
mean. I know
changes,
that to make a
if
profit takes a while. I know that that's not a
well,
problem.
no, but what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is because it's new, okay, I don't mind. You know, I don't want to conflict with your node, right? Especially if your node's been around for a while. So I'll change my name. It's not an issue.
Okay,
We need
thanks.
to talk about it offline, yeah?
I
Send me a
appreciate
DM or
it. Yeah,
something, right? We'll sort it
appreciate
out.
it. Thank you.
No problem. Pleasure.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks, LUNC Market. Vegas, you're next, mate.
Yo, everyone. Just a quick one. No, it's not a quick one. Leo, let's try to do a conversation. So, why do we need to change the ticker on the centralizing changes?
Well, what you mean? Why do we need the cent? Well, we would like we would like the exchanges to change the ticker to match our own ticker.
Okay.
But we can't force them to, right? We would like to because ultimately, our plan is, you know, USTC to USTY to USTC again, right? To a new USTC. So there's confusion.
But for example, is this going to change the supply of the coin that they have there? Doesn't matter. I'm going to just call it USD. Does it going to change the supply that they have of USDC on the centralized exchange, or is just changing the ticker?
Yeah, it's just a ticker name. It's just like, I think if you look at the, I think Ceramic mentioned it in the white paper, what it involves, right? It's just a code. It's just, you change the identifier, I think. And it's just a name. So everything else stays the same. Nothing. So there's no change to futures contracts, anything. It's all the same. And if they don't do anything, then everything just carries on.
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, so that being said, I didn't didn't read the white paper yet. So I'm just trying to get some information directly from you. Because one thing was like, I was thinking, okay, if we're going to wipe out the supply and asking the centralized exchanges to follow ball with us, that will be a massacre. But if it's just changing a ticker or whatever on the centralized exchanges, I think that is not going to be a problem at all. But we can just ask.
And Vegas, right? They don't have to do anything, right? So it's not like, you know, we have to get. So it's not like, you know, like the system's offline for 24 hours, or they need to change. You know, they don't need to change any of their systems at all, right? It's just a switch from our end, and if they don't switch from their end, they might get some confused customers. But yeah, business-wise, nothing changes.
Talking,
right?
For example, about Binance doing nothing is never doing nothing. So for you to know. Every time that we do, for example, an update to the chain or anything that is a tiny bit strange or whatever, we need to give them a minimal of 3 weeks in advance. Okay, minimal 2 weeks, but they will prefer a month, so they could do a general or public announcements, and plus to make sure that the developing team is following the stuff and the front end team changes things up and blah blah. So yeah, they are not as linear as we are. You know, it's like, okay, let's go this way. Yeah, let's move. No, Vegas,
no. You know what, Vegas, right? I also understand, right? Okay, that there's an element of work involved in this. You know, it's not like, okay, you know, you have to proactively speak to them, right? That's
time,
100%. Right? That's not something that just happens, right? So, I mean, yeah, I know that, okay, and I respect that, right? That
we have to. It's what it is. Now, I was just worried because if it's not going to change the supply of the coin itself, and it's just changing the name, and you say that that is going to help to create less confusion. That's I don't see any problem with that. But if there is other coins with same tickers and stuff like that, yeah. So yeah. Okay, but that's what I was going to ask. If it's going to affect any kind of supply, if it's going to affect if it affects any kind of parameter like that, then we have to really coordinate really well with the centralizing changes. If he's not, if he's just changing the ticker, that a simple announcement will do the trick. I think I still didn't spoke about this with any of them until you guys have the technical white paper or the full white paper. But yeah.
I have read the white paper. It's quite takes a bit of time actually. It can work actually. What I found that is missing is how to reduce a bit more the supply for the USTC that will become USTI. I replied to him on one of the chats from Elban, and he told he is going to work on it actually.
Yeah. So it will work like the MM, yeah, on layer 1, but this is on layer 2, yeah. It's basically that.
I mean, the USTC would become USTY, yeah. But there's a plan to burn LUNC on the thing. But the people who holds USTC now, they're gonna be like sort of screwed. Let's say like that. Because
wait, what?
This is a good question, maybe for Leonardo. Rex, I don't know if you can speak. Leonardo, so the new token, the USTC, will that be a layer 1 or layer 2? So LUNC and USTC are like layer 1 tokens, and then you've got, Terraport, Julius, meme coins. This new USTC you're creating, will that be an L2? Did you get my question?
Well, maybe he's a bit off, but as I understand,
I think he's right, because I can see Stingy saying that he's speaking, but we cannot hear him. So maybe log out and log in again, or jump out. Sorry, and jump in again. But from my small understanding of what they were talking, at least, is that this is always going to use collateral. Yeah. So collateral will be always need a centralized entity like the foundation used to be. So just by that is not layer 1. That will be an option on top of the chain. So it's going to be someone controlling some kind of supply in terms of the collaterals. So that alone screams that it's not layer 1. But my question is more directly exactly for the token itself, like you were saying, right? If it's going to be a CW20 or if it's going to be a native coin. And more than that, if they indeed have a swapping mechanism that will work like the old MM, is this planning to be on layer 1 or is an option of layer 2? And the reason for me to ask this is that I still truly believe that we should try to utilize our solutions on layer 1, just for the simple fact that that on layer 2 is a lot of good projects. A lot of them are here. Yeah, you can see Rex is there, saw Jury somewhere. Whatever. It's a lot of good projects here on this space alone, but they never get the amount of traffic that if it was on a layer 1 solution. They will have later on. They will have, of course, they will, but it takes time, and sometimes projects they don't have that time to make it work. So that's what my only thing is. Like, I will prefer to see a layer 1 solution. I will prefer to save something. I'll prefer not to do the same mistake that Duquan did in the past. That is like, okay, this doesn't work, I will try something different. We all know what happened with that. I'll prefer for us to still try to do what we are doing now, that is trying to save the chain and not just going around and around. That being said, if it doesn't stop our efforts of trying to bring to life the MM, I'm full on board with this. And if it works and then we don't need an MM, perfect, even better. One more note regarding the USTC being dead. If you guys go to CoinMarketCap at the moment, I think the volume, the daily volume, is a double of LUNC. So if USTC is dead, what that makes from LUNC, it's like, come on, it's not dead.
I agree with you. I don't think it's dead too. I think we have to work on it, and there's a really good perspective with the MMC, but there are some things that has to be discussed as we are doing now. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the volume on USTC is quite good to see. I've messaged Leonardo to say he needs to leave and come back. For there's a bug on the spaces. We can't seem to hear him.
I just had a quick question regarding the plan. So yesterday in some of the LUNC spaces, Ceramic Fingers made his way around and was answering questions, and I thought that was admirable. One of the things that he had pointed out was that a lot of his theory paper was designed around the out-of-date documents that are found online that were primarily written by the TFL group when when LUNC was Luna. How do you feel that this is going to affect any timelines or design flaws, being that the documents were out of date that kind of based the theory off of? I do know that he had a long talk with Straith about the capabilities attained, but do you feel that being that he's developed this on those old documents, that's going to slow things down?
I'm not sure how to answer that. I don't know if Vegas or Redline can or Rexy can. Leonardo is having some issues with his Twitter spaces.
Sorry, could you repeat the question, or you're back? Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can, Leonardo.
Right. Okay. So, do you want me to answer that last question about?
Yes.
Yeah. Apollo. Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. I mean, it's good that you're having these kind of discussions with Ceramic. I mean, you highlight a point. Okay, which is like pretty key. Okay, it's the fact that there's documentation and so on that is old and legacy and so on, and some of this stuff needs to be changed. I would say it's great. Okay, that Strath and Plastic are having a discussion. Okay, because I actually think that between the two of them, okay, that solutions can be made. Solutions can be there could be workarounds made. Will it impact the timeline? Well, we don't know what the timeline is yet. So I think if anything, they will take into account the timeline. Yeah. Okay. Needed to, to make this happen. But yeah, I can imagine there'll be an element if they need to make changes because documentation's out of date and so on, then I can imagine that's going to have an impact. Yeah, definitely.
Leonardo, could you go back and answer the L1, L2 question that we asked earlier? I don't know if you got. Did you hear that question we asked?
Well, do you know what? Okay, I heard it, but but my mic was off. I think I answered it. Okay, but no one heard.
You might have to repeat again.
So yeah, no problem. Well, I was going to say, right. USTC or the new contract UST will be, it's the same criteria as USTC today. Sorry, so. So USTY, so USTC to USTY, okay, that's an identifier change, but it's kind of like, it's this, but the new USTC, it's going to be a stable coin. So, similar to the so USTC today is a layer 1, right? So USTC tomorrow is going to be a layer 1 as well. Yeah, it's just that it's a fresh contract, right? It's a fresh stable coin that starts with, a supply of 0 that we can build upon. But that will be under, but that will be a new contract number, right? So whereas.
Okay, and then we'll have to go through the full process of like relisting it on exchanges and
that. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the one where they will have to add. So you can imagine, right? Okay, they could eventually end up with the ideal scenario, right? Okay, is they end up with 2. Yeah, they end up with USTY and they end up with USTC because USTY is not going to go away, And if anything, okay, think about it, right? Okay, you have if USTY gets to $1, okay, and you've got USTC at $1, LUNC's got 2 stable coins. Yeah. One is, one, okay, has been developed from the ground up, okay, to be as much as we can comply with, the different types of legislation like, MiCA and stuff. And then the other one, okay, is one which doesn't have that limitation. And that would be pretty cool, right? Because when you go into detail on the plan and so on, it's great, that Strass involved because he's one of the most technically aware guys, right, on the entire chain, right? Okay, if the plan is to bring USTC up to $1, then just make sure mic's on. Then that's a massive benefit to the community. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, right? I mean, I think that's huge.
Yeah, it's obvious, right? And I think for me, it's the timing. Like this is a trader, shiller, influencer. It's the timing, the way Bitcoin is going. If we can get our act together, if we can repeg it to $1 or get USDC to $1, great. Even if we can just get the narrative going, get bigger accounts and old Luna guys talking about it, that is huge for our LunaClassic bags.
Yeah, and you know what? And the thing is, right, we don't have to wait until the new USTC is over collateralized, right? It'll start with a supply of 0. Okay, and then that supply will slowly increase, right? And then you get and then you can see momentum building, right? Because the moment you've got the framework in place, the moment people can see it, okay, this is all audited, all up front, all straight, official, then people will basically pile into it, is my belief. People will pile into it. So I actually think it's exciting. It's like a win-win. I mean, it's really good.
No, it definitely is, mate. And I was excited to read the paper. There's been some, or in LunaClassic, there's always people attacking you. Like, am I involved? Am I part of it? But I try to give it, I guess Vegas, Rexy, and others will know. I try to give the benefit of the doubt and try to support it and see how it goes. So I wish you guys all the best. On the panel, Vegas, Rexy, Redline, if you guys have any questions, go on. We'll stay live for another half an hour or so. I'll see if there's any questions on the comments. One question is about
I have a question.
the reserve assets. I think from what I remember reading it last night is BTC, ETH, BNB, USDT, and also LunaClassic where the reserves. That's correct, right, Leonardo?
Yeah. I mean, it's still open to decision, right? But that's kind of like where we're going to. The thing that I will add, okay, is when you have a set of like different collaterals, right, in there, the more volatile the collateral is, okay, the higher the CR ratios will actually be. Yeah, that's why you have like something like USDT balancing it out. And that's why, okay, we don't recommend, okay, you have like, for instance, too much LUNC and too much USDC together or USTY together because of its volatility.
And we've seen a lot of bad things happen, like Kuji recently. Like I think they leveraged their own token, and when their own token dropped, having is exogenous like other assets will definitely help. What's the percentage? Is it 160% or 250% the collateralization that you propose to go forward with?
160, I think.
160. Okay. I mean, even then, like, if Bitcoin and they can easily drop more. That's still a risk, right? But then your collateralization ratio would be less. So then the quick kill switch, I guess, will come in and pause the minting and the swaps.
Well, what happens is like you let it float, right? So once it passes so say for instance, like a massive crash. So let's go back to like Luna, for instance, right? Where it entered a death spiral and there's a massive crash. What will happen, okay, is you'll get to a point where the collateral ratio drops to, the lowest level, I think it's like 80. I'm not sure. It drops to 80, okay, and then it stops functioning. Yeah, so the collateral stays there, and the price just drops. The price will just drop. It'll hit a level, it hit a low point, okay, and then it will slowly recover. Yeah, and then that's where the collateral kicks in, and it will slowly recover, and it gets back up to its original value. that's one of the problems, right, with Luna. Okay, is they had BTC to throw, and they actually threw it out there to try and protect it, but it was in a death spiral, right? So that money just went away. The way this model works, right, is you just let it float. You just let it float, drop. You don't waste the collateral on it, and then when it hits, and then when it's bottomed out, okay, that's when the collateral is used to bring it up to its to the $1 level.
So oh, sorry, go.
The question I had is actually about this thema, and how do you plan to test it? Because actually, if you make, like, for example, a secondary whatever tokens and make the test into the system, and then bring it to stress and really test it, I think that's gonna be something that is gonna make proof or is gonna prove that it works, And how are your plans to test it? That's a
I'm
very
not.
good question.
Yeah, I'm not sure with that. The thing that I say with that, okay, is I can see where Ceramic's coming with this, right? Okay, because there's an element of this, okay, that's been applied to the CZ Zodiac dollar, yeah, the CZ USD, that's backed by collateral, okay, and that was exploited, right, and it crashed, okay, and it got to a point, but there are different, but then so it's not like this is a completely new system that we're testing for the first time. I think the community is quite fortunate, okay, to have someone like Ceramic in place, okay, that has the experience with stable coins, to be able to develop this, because this is something that, he's familiar with already, to some extent, because of the work that he's done with, USDT. I mean, the thing that I will say, right, okay, is, look how old the stable coin is. Yeah, people have tried to crash it and exploit it. Okay, it's not like it was just once when it's been launched. As you guys know, right, especially the developers that are listening, right? Okay, this is a job that never stops, right? I mean, you always have to self-improve. You can never leave code as it is. It's a continual process. I just think, Ceramic's the best. I mean, I'm biased anyway, right? Because he's my friend, right? But Ceramic, right, he's the best man for the job. I mean, I don't think, I think LUNC's in a very fortunate position, right? I mean, how many other people are there, okay, that are prepared to help us, right, that have his experience? Not very many, right? And I think it's like, and I mean, it just makes me bullish, right? When you turn around to me and you say, oh yeah, like Ceramic was in a space, we had a conversation, we had a conversation with Strath, and now just, that for me is, that's as bullish, right? Because I would say, I mean, I've been in crypto a while now, right? And, I don't respect many people in crypto, okay? Because, but two I do is Ceramic and Strath. I've never spoken to Strath, but I've seen his work, so,
Yeah,
that makes it cool.
I agree. It's quite bullish, actually. It's nothing against nothing. It's just the testing. That's something that I think that's very important, is to make wherever L2 tokens or wherever, and create the scenario somewhere else for like a testing, and then bring it really to stress and see
Yeah.
how the software or program or whoever writes the thing, how is it gonna develop itself, That's my point. And once we can see that, okay, it hold it, okay, we went down so much and it hold it here, and then make break even on that, and then start to bring it back up again, and to see where is the stress limit for the project. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? I know what you mean, and I'm 100% behind you. You need that. You need that. What you're proposing, right? Isn't oh well, maybe we should. It's like, no, it's mandatory, because we're talking about an asset that is going to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? That's it. You cannot afford to take any chances, any risk, let's try it, see how it works live, and let's change it if it goes. It's like, no.
Yeah, agree.
You can't afford to do it with
100%,
this.
yeah. That's what I
So
mean.
yeah, I'm behind you on that one completely.
I asked that question as well, LUNC Market. Redline, you wanted to speak. Go ahead, mate.
So what mechanisms are there actually to hold the peg? So I know you're saying just let it flow, but say, for instance, you get somebody that becomes a large holder and they dump it, shorting then on the perpetual markets to make more money. How do you combat that?
Oh, I think Ceramic's best place to answer that. I know there are mechanisms in place where the tax goes up. So as the price goes down, there's tax. Okay, it gets more expensive. Okay, to dump. But then there gets to a point where it just stops. I'm not better. You know what, Redline? I can't. I'm not. I'm not equipped to answer that question. Not properly, anyway. I could just give you like an overview. I can't give you the detail that you want. But there are mechanisms in place, right? I mean, I would say, hey, you can reach out. Why don't you reach out? I can, why don't you speak directly to Ceramic? I can arrange that. It's not an issue.
I can do it. It's just more to understand the mechanisms behind it, because the second this token moves off chain, like you need some kind of serious, you need to incentivize on chain then basically, and that would mean you'd actually have to use your collateral. You couldn't just hold it.
Yeah. Okay. Then I would say let's hold this, right? I would say then, the moment the detail comes out, okay, we're not a million miles away in terms of that happening. Then, we need your feedback ASAP, right? Respond straight away, either directly to me or whatever, whether it's Commonwealth, whatever. And let's get it addressed, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So when you come out with the technical paper, I can have a look, and I'm happy to. If I see anything that's an issue, I'm happy to bring them up with you or whatever. I'll tell you, I actually must head away there. But it was great speaking to you, and thanks, Rocko, for having space.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for joining, and Leonardo, appreciate you coming in. I'd like to see like a scenario as well. The scenario that Redline mentioned, someone's a big holder and starts dumping and shorting. It'd be good to have these scenarios as examples and what the protocol will exactly do. As a non-technical person, just reading that will help me and others understand it.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Cool. Let's look at a few more questions and we'll start rounding up in the next 20 minutes or so. If not, we can finish early today. That won't be a problem. Vegas, you've been quiet. Anything else you want to add?
No, mate. I just want to see more details. To be fair, try to understand. I have the idea that on L2 this will be a tiny bit hard to work properly. Not to work properly, but be massively adopted. That being said, if this L2 issue doesn't need governance. But then I was just looking to your tweet, and you say USTC Repeg proposal. USTC Repeg plans to swap all existing USTC to USTC and restart the supply from USTC to 0. Mate, this thing is going to be, I don't know. I have to read it because just reading.
My understanding, Leonardo my understanding is that current UST will be rebranded to USTY, and you'll start a new USTC with the same L1 contract with a different name or different contract.
No. It's a new contract. Everything's new.
Oh, okay. So that changes things.
It's a new stablecoin.
That changes things.
Sorry, a new contract.
That you will need a lot of coordination with the centralized exchanges. Plus, if you are at this moment, for that to advance, it has to be absolutely a million times tested on mimic centralizing chain, whatever, because this will then require regulation. Because now you are telling the centralizing chain, we are changing the ticker because this new coin is indeed a stable coin. Okay, prepare for regulations. This is going to be a tiny bit of a challenge. All of this being said, I hope that it works, and I will read it, the white paper to try to understand if I'm not just saying bullshit. But I'm very happy that more teams and more teams are trying to get more efforts for the repeg of the USTC, because indeed this is the mechanism that powered the whole ecosystem, and we have to bring it back one way or another. I still believe that L1 trying to save the USTC that we have at the moment is still the best option. I have my controversial way of the rebirth gate that was basically if the wallet is not alive, they are not going to have this coin in the future, whatever. But yeah, I think it's still ways to save the USTC instead of just creating a new one. But if we're going to create a new one, like you are suggesting, that will indeed change a lot of things in terms of the central agent change, including like Binance and things like that. It could even mean that we need to go deep in our pockets.
Well, the objective is, right, the objective of the proposal, okay, is to deliver the community a $1 over-collateralized stablecoin. That's the objective of the proposal, right? We cannot do it with USTC, okay, because of the amount of dead, okay, USTC that will never be used. It's gone in lost wallets that we're going to have to over-collateralize. And number two, okay, because of its, because of the way the mechanism works, the MMs and so on, because, it will never, ever, get approved, right, as a stable coin. Because it's not a stable coin now, right? And people say, oh, USTC is nothing now, right? It is rubble. It's not a stable coin, it's rubble. Okay, so even if it hits, say, $1, for instance, okay, then does that automatically mean it's a stable coin? No, it doesn't. Because when you hit $1, you're going to have to go through a whole load of regulation, for it to be called a stable coin.
Yes. Yeah, indeed. But at least in my view, it will be easier to try to coordinate with the centralizing changes and stuff, trying to say, okay, we did it. Let's call it again a stable coin. Then they will come back to us. Guys, you need loads of regulations to follow until you guys can even call it a stable coin. But in my opinion, doing a new coin and calling it a stable coin and then trying to list it on the centralized exchange is not simple. But maybe Ceramics has more experience on this and they will say, no, this will be very simple. But the last time that we talk anything about doing something similar, when it was in the Steel Terror Rebels, we were talking about to do all the licenses and all of that stuff. It will be $250,000 just to start. It's was very expensive, all of the process.
Is that $250,000 what? To be licensed for what? To be to be licensed to do what? $250,000. Sorry.
Yeah, it's basically if you are saying that you have a stable coin, you have to prove that it's a stable coin. So you have to be some kind of license. I cannot remember exactly, but it's a lot of stuff. It's almost like a license of a bank. Your entity, your company, will basically be scrutinized as a bank. So
and that's the reality of it, right? Because we can talk about regulation and so on, but you have to be a lawyer specialized in regulation to be able to comment on it. Because Redline's gone now, right? But I don't know if you guys have had a chance to have a look at the MiCA regulation, right? Forget articles, right? Forget what even the EU on their website say, okay, about what MiCA is. You need to go into the documentation, and the documentation is just huge, and it's like a Bible. And if you're not, legally specialized in stable coins and understanding it, then you can't really comment on it. No one can. I can't. You can't. No one can. And that's tough. And that's where you hope that it's in stages, right? We establish ourselves, because that's the thing. See, with the USDC, okay, that Ceramic, okay, is developing, right? Is developed. He's done it in such a way that it can be made compliant. Yeah, the plan is to make it as so for instance, say MiCA compliancy, for instance. Okay, I can imagine a future in which we could get if we could get legal counsel. Okay, say, well, okay, legal counsel, we've looked at the regulation, you need to do this, and this. Okay, we can do it. That's the whole point of the new USDC. Whereas with the current USDC, we can't. we know enough now. I mean, we're not, legal experts, but we know enough now. I mean, when Ceramic says we can't do it, I believe him, right? Because of his experience, right? Because of his history with USTC and so on, and all the stuff that he knows already about stable coins. So, it's, yeah.
Now,
But then, hey,
I see your point, and I respect that. It's like if you have the experience and he knows all the regulations that you have to follow. What I was just trying to say is that 2 years ago, we were talking about this, and was a lot of money involved, a lot of requirements, a lot of licenses, whatever. So it was going to cost a lot of money. But people say that it was is impossible, is a lot of debt. So when we start all of this, 2 years and a half, almost 3 years now, the debt was around 10 billion. Today is 7 point something, and from that we know that the circulation supply is already 5 point something billion. So we know that we almost cut the debt in half without doing absolutely nothing. So imagine if we do. So when people say that it's impossible to do anything on USTC, I think we are not even trying. So that being said, your option that you that you guys are doing, what Rexis is doing, whatever the groups that are trying to create a stable coin for LunaClassic, I applaud it. I think it's a very, very good effort. I hope that it works. At the same time, I still believe that we could do something a tiny bit bigger if we can just focus and work together to bring USCC back to our old life. And if not, at least activating the the market model somehow, to make it work. Because if not, what is the chain itself, just a platform for other stuff? It's many like that. I think we are losing our entity completely if we don't do anything regarding the market model. But yeah, thanks, mate.
I agree with that, Vegas. That's our unique selling point. Like, again, I'm part of Juris. I want Juris to do well. L1s, there's lots of L2s, Terraport. I know you're building one, which is great. But it's the USTC that could take us to like crazy market cap again. L2s are great. It could help us. But Layer 1 and especially USTC, that's the unique selling point. Rexy, you had your hand up. Can you speak now?
Yeah, hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Don't give me the bad news of Tottenham losing. I know you went to the game today.
Yeah, I met one of our biggest kind of investors. He come all the way over from Norway. So it's fantastic. It's the first time I've actually met somebody from the crypto space in the real world. So absolutely fantastic, and it was great to see him.
Got a nice stadium, but we play crap football.
I'll tell you something. The best thing about the day was the stadium. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Eh? You wouldn't think they could just rip it apart and get it up and running just like that. But it was great to see a great team performing well. Unfortunately for you, it wasn't Tottenham. Ipswich did brilliant, but you don't want to hear that, do you?
First win.
Well, I'm a Tottenham fan as well, so I don't want to hear that either, actually.
Nice. That's good, man. We've got a fellow Tottenham fan. Usually Arsenal,
just when my hopes start to raise, they get crushed down again.
Yeah. Beaten by bottom of the league. There you go. But no, Ipswich deserved to win. It was, it was a good day out. Anyway, there we go. So I've been listening to this on the train on the way back. It's about an hour and a half kind of journey on the train for us, plus an hour and a half driving. And I've seen more rugs on that train with this Spaces going than what there is in Dunelm Mill. So I've kind of heard bits and bobs across the last hour and a half, but not kind of flowing, let's put it that way. So I've just kind of pulled up in the car, and I kind of wanted to ask a few things, and it's been interesting to hear the contributions from everybody, and I guess kind of picking up on a few things that Vegas has identified. And I guess these are queries, and I think with this, what can you call it, like semi-theory white paper that's come out, I think it's maybe setting some ideas, but there's a lot of detail to be delivered as yet, and I think that's kind of recognised, which is fair enough. Some things that I guess I would want a better understanding of is, it seems to me that if we're effectively going to create a new L1 token, then that kind of necessitates maybe the need for more of a centralised team or chain to be able to get things like this registered and agreed with sexes. And that would be a big difference for us. So how would we end up going about that? I guess the next query I'd have is, okay, I mean, I helped kind of pull together a team to work on this for about 9 months, and they made a massive amount of progress towards it. However, with a very different focus, and the focus wasn't to repeg USTC. The focus was to return value to LunaClassic. And what I mean by that is we thought that the defining element of LunaClassic was the market module and the relationship between LUNC and USTC. And to make that work, you needed a number of things. You needed the market module to work and be safe, but you needed to have demand as well. So part of the project from a wider element was creating some demand. So we've got Juris, Selenium coming online, Terraport's been up and running for a while there. And then hopefully would help to rebuild what was considered the Trinity in Luna 1, which helped drive demand, you know, when they had Anchor, Mirror and Astroport there. But the other element to that is in terms of that relationship of getting the market module up and running. And what I wanted to know was this, we're going to change, in theory, USTC into USTY, okay, and then create a new USTC starting from, let's say, 0 market cap and gradually building up as demand comes in. Is there going to be some kind of relationship between that new USTC and the market module and LUNC? Are they going to be working together, or are we talking about, if you like, two completely separate stable coins and LUNC working independently?
Well, you've got like, I mean, like, you know, the new USTC, right? Okay. You know, the link between LUNC, is just as strong, right? Because, you know, you'll be able to, you know, so you need LUNC. Okay. You stake LUNC, you get, USTY, right? You stake LUNC, you get USTC as well. Okay. So, if you want USTC, you need LUNC. Yeah. So the link there, is, I would say, you know, just as strong, okay, you know, than it was, with, you know, Luna and, USTC, but from a different element, right? Because then, you know, LUNC was Luna, sorry, and, USTC, they were, you know, they were fundamental parts of the, market module. Yeah. You know, this is a different solution, right? This is based on, you know, collateral, right? It's not based on, you know, price movement. Yeah. So, you know, to answer your question, right? Okay. You know, the relationship's still there. You know, it's, you know, it's, if anything, it's at worst, it's the same. At best, it's stronger, right? Because, you know, if the demand for the new USTC increases, and I think there is demand there because, you know, this is DeFi, right? Okay. And, you know, wouldn't it be great, okay, if we were the only stablecoin that was actually decentralized, truly decentralized? It doesn't matter whether exchanges take it or not immediately on day one, but if we had, you know, a stablecoin that is truly decentralized, yeah, not owned by anybody, okay, then, you know, I'm pretty sure it's only a matter of time, okay, before, you know, all it takes is one exchange to take it and then the others follow. So, so yeah, so I hope that answered your question, right? It's, you know, the link still stays there with, a USTC, okay, as it did with the old one.
Okay, so I think Vega kind of pointed out, on his last reply, maybe I'm misunderstanding this, is, so if there's going to be a new USTC, let's call it USTC2, just for the sake of understanding.
Yeah, go on.
So USTC1 will become USTY. I think that's correct.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a new USTC2, if you like.
Yeah.
But for that to get registered within exchanges and to pass all the tests and everything that's needed, I think there'll probably need to be a centralized team to run it. So if that's the case, will it really be a decentralized stablecoin?
Well, that's a good question, right? I mean, I just look at if I look at the stable coin on the C Zodiac ecosystem. Yeah. So I get confused with the letters now. CZUSD, right? Okay. I mean, that's a stable coin. Okay. And that doesn't need a team to run it. I mean, there are people around it, yeah, but it's not like you need you need people around it to work on it and so on. But what's a team and even if it's decentralized, right? Okay, you still need a team anyway, right? What are you saying? You're saying that the team needs to be in a registered location as a registered company? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's more of a question, really. But my understanding is to register onto something like Binance, you need to have a centralized entity to do all that kind of stuff. That was in terms of enabling Terraport to operate. We've had to make lots of contracts. Well, let me rephrase that. We've had to make contracts with different organizations. And a company that I set up was built to enable them contracts to be made. So Terravita helps deliver this, but it doesn't own Terraport. It has no rights to Terraport whatsoever. In effect, think of it like a service company. Okay, so Terra users own Terraport. All Terra Cvita does is basically help settle the bills to make it kind of viable. So that is kind of getting over, I guess, my experience in terms of whether you want to deal with MEX or whether you want to deal with, CMC, or whether it's CoinGecko or lots of, you need a registered company to actually be registered. Now, that's my experience. It's maybe not everybody's experience. And I understand that, Binance occasionally will list something on the basis of public opinion and I guess pure marketing value. However, I don't know whether they are still liaising with a central entity or not.
Okay. Well, I guess my response to that, right, is, I mean, if you follow through on what, Ceramic's planning, right, for USTC or USTC2, should I say, to become a thing, okay, for people to be able to, have it, they have to, USTC1, okay, it needs to hit $1. So, it's like I said earlier, right? It's like, so you could be in a scenario where, for instance, you'll have, two stable coins, right? If UST1 hits $1, okay, in which, the exchange has got an option, right? I mean, for instance, right? Okay, they're currently listing USTC today. So if USTC hits $1, then great. I mean, it's like, all it is a ticker change, right? Okay. Then if, there are, hoops or legislation that you need to go through, okay, with the exchange, then you would work with the exchange, right? Okay. But ultimately, if they decided not to list it, which I don't think they would, because ultimately, okay, everything revolves around profit and money. And, this is a very lucrative opportunity for the exchange as well as it is for the investor. Okay. So, money makes the world go round, right? I think that in itself, is a big incentive in itself. But if for regulation reasons they don't want to do it, then, they still have USTC, right? USTC, USTY is still the same thing.
Quick question. What if the USDC one, the actual one, the one we have now, goes above $1? How are we gonna bring it down again? Because it can be explodes and makes $10, and then you can't actually control it.
That's an interesting question, actually. What happens if US? Yeah, because it's not because you're right, because it's not a stable coin. It's not a stable coin, right? It's nothing. It's debris. But if that debris recovers, okay, and it hits, say, $10 instead of $1, what does that do?
You could mint USTC token, right? If I read the white paper correctly, you could mint USTC token to burn LUNC. You could.
Yeah,
You could do
yeah. Burnley, yeah. You could use it to, There's five different options I think you could do with it. Yeah, correct. Right.
Cool. Leonardo, I know we've been going for 2 hours. Can you take a couple more questions? I can see LunaClassic node and Stratcore just joined, and then we'll finish off in 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, no problem.
Cool. Stratcore, you're first, and then we'll go to LunaClassic.
Good evening. Sorry, I didn't hear a lot of the space because I just came back, so I don't know if it was covered already. I had some back and forth with Ceramic today in the public group, and first of all, what I think is that it is not really a repeg plan. It is just a new coin because the USTC, the current USTC, would remain what it is, and until you reach a point where you have a collateralization of whatever 190%, even if you can then start swapping USTY or the current USTC to the new one on a one-to-one basis, this only is valid for the first swaps because immediately the collateralization will fall below the threshold. So this is a pure option for those either with automatization capabilities to take favor of it, but not of the current normal investor of the current USTC. And with that, from my naive standpoint, I see a big risk that as soon as such a thing like this would be passing, that the holders that really wait and hope for a repeg will immediately lose hope for that and abandon the USTC overall. That is one of the point. And the second is that I don't think that you will be able to make an efficient collateralization management in a decentralized manner without any controlling party due to all the things that is involved, maybe even including fiat, if that is a requirement. Then you will have big issues to even make it technically.
Okay. So, just following on for the second point first, because it's part of the proposal, right? Okay, is in terms of the weighting of the different types of collaterals and so on. Okay, that's something that can't be fixed anyway, right? That's something that's going to have to be changed. And that's something that governance would have to, be involved in making that change, right? You don't stick with the same collateral forever. I understand the point that you're saying, okay, with regards to, well, what if the requirement, okay, is you have to have an element of, fear. I think with Mika, right, if I remember rightly, don't you have to have an element of euro as well? I'm not sure, as being part of the mix. I'm not sure, but I think that might be the case. Yeah. I think it's one of those where, we have to, the objective of the proposal is a $1 USDC new one self-collateralized stablecoin, right? And Ceramic's plan, okay, is a way to get there. Now, whether people think they can, if people think it can be done, great. If people can't think it can be done, great. It's a proposal, right? Okay, it's a proposal. It gets reviewed, and ultimately, okay, in fact, it's not a proposal yet. It's just half a white paper, right? Okay, but ultimately, okay, a proposal. We're working towards a proposal. We'll make a proposal. We'll make it. The community will review it. If it passes, it passes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, me on a personal level, right? I'm happy in a way, either way, because I can walk away from this thinking, well, we gave it due diligence, right? Because I would say, right, okay, if we can't do it, who else can do it? You know, we've had 2.5 years now, right, of lots and lots of talk and no action. Okay, well, you know, we've come along with a plan, an idea, a timeline that we want to work to, okay, because we think we can do it. If we can't do it, then I don't think anyone can. And if we can't do it, then we need to wise up to reality, right, and think, well, it's a non-option. You know, let's just move on. Yeah, it's not a tool that we have in our arsenal anymore. So I think now, Straff, what did you say about point one? Sorry, could you just remind me again on the...
What I mean is that people have the perception that it is a repeg proposal, but in fact it is not. It is abandoning the current USTC from what the repeg talks were. It is creating a new one, and the USTC might or might not play a role in a later time of it. But it is not a repeg, and people, and at least from how I read it, is that they expect a repeg proposal. That
how is it not? But how is it not? But Straff, how is it not a repeg, right?
It is a new coin. It is not a repeg of USTC.
Right, it's a new coin, okay, that is only available, okay, through USTC, through USTY, right? That's how you get it. So, you know, it's not a coin that's freely available on the market that people can just buy from an exchange. The only way to get it is through USTY. You know, so because the whole ethos behind it is, if we could, okay, we would just basically stick with the current USTC, right? There's not an issue. That would be like fantastic for us, right? But as a self-collateralized stable coin, right, you know, we'd have to self-collateralize everything. Now, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Straff, you know, right? I don't know how much USTC there is that is just dead. That is just it. We're going to have to self-collateralize stuff that we're never going to use, you know? And so, the rationale behind it is, you know, if we create a new stable coin, you're right. It's not related to USTY directly. Okay. But the only way to get it, is if you own LUNC or if you own USTY, okay, then, you know, it's a bridge. Yeah, it's kind of a bridge. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to, you know, sift through the wreckage, take the value and put it into this stable coin because the community want a stable coin. And this is a proposal for a stable coin. You cannot, because USTC today is not a stable coin, right? It's dead. It's something that's
it is, right? but people expect that the repeg plan is using USTC. So what do you expect? What would happen if you make a new stable, which abandons really the future plans or hopes for a repeg of the original USTC?
Yeah, the original
what
USTC,
do you think?
Well, the original USTC is impossible. Okay, there's no, I mean, if anyone can repeg today's USTC, why haven't they done it yet? It's 2.5 years now. Okay, what, we have to wait for another 2.5 years? Okay, for someone to be able to repeg that? You know, we've done a review, we've looked at it, and for us, it's an impossibility. Okay, so what's the next best thing? The next best thing is we create a new stable coin, okay, which doesn't have any of the legacy, doesn't have any of the old stuff, okay, any of the old shit, the debris, okay, that, we currently have at the moment. But the only way to get that stable coin is by owning that debris. Yeah, so you take that debris, okay, that is never, ever going to hit $1, okay, and then you put it into something that is already $1, okay, but then as the collateral pool grows, okay, so more and more will be minted. So over time, it's almost like a transitional effect because, that's the reality. Tell me if I'm wrong, Straff, right? But, 2.5 years, okay, and there's no repeg and there's no repeg on the horizon for it. Everything I've seen is just almost like, well, we can't do anything with it. This is our solution for current USTC hold, it's never going to hit $1, is what I'm saying.
If you limit the buying of the new coin to LUNC and USTC, that would mean that you have an internal buy-sell cycle, which does not really involve much capital inflow directly to the new coin. You would have to like people buy LUNC, they have to swap it to the new one, and then you have to sell LUNC again to get the collateral that you need for the pool. So that is not really something that would really benefit the overall ecosystem as far as I'm concerned. So you would need to be able to swap it from different tokens like BTC wrapped or whatever wrapped, but for that you would need to have such a huge demand that people are willing to bridge their assets over, and that the bridges and relayers and whatever are created to even be able to do so. So I really, I initially wanted to wait until the technical white paper's out, because I don't see any way to really do that in a way that technically could work. And that is why I was so kind of frustrated that this white paper or light paper was released, because it only gives the hopes part but not the viability parts, and that is kind of frustrating.
Well, it's the theory. It gives the theory, and that theory has actually changed, Strath. Yeah, I mean, that white paper, right, was what, Rev 0.1, I think. No, Rev 2. Okay, because you guys never got to see the first one, because we changed that before it was published. Okay, well, that we've got a Commonwealth discussion, which is what, 4 or 5 days away. That theory paper is going to change. I can tell you that now, okay? Because from the feedback that we've had, from some parts of the community, and it's going to continue being changed until, the Commonwealth discussion finishes, and then we move on to implementation, right? That's when, that's the bit that you're interested in, right? The implementation bit. How are we going to take this theory and how are we going to turn it into something practical? Well, that's, I guess, when the discussion starts. Now, you've spoken to Ceramic, right? Did you go into this? I guess you never went into this level of detail, right? Because it's not been defined yet, right? We haven't said what it is yet. So, am I right? I mean, you had a discussion with Ceramic, which is great, okay? Because, you're both people that I respect and stuff. I mean, how was the outcome of discussion? How did you feel the discussion went?
The thing is that he's not really known to knowing the Cosmos. He's just digging into the Cosmos stuff because he comes from EVM, so he's not really familiar with how IBC bridging and all that stuff works. And at least from how I understood it, he had the impression that it was far easier to do all the bridging stuff and the contract stuff and how it is. And he also said he doesn't even imagine it has to be L1. It might also be L2. And it is, you know how this community is. You release a white paper about, named Repeg idea, Repeg plan. And you know how the news on that is, and the hype that comes from that. I know many people like it when hype around the chain happens, but for me it's always the big grain of salt that with a hype that might later turn out to be not what it was hoped to be, the downfall is even bigger than the hype was. And so I rather like things to be approached more cautious, and it kind of seems that from the Telegram posts I see that this is again like some perception of USTC will be repegged, and this is our time to fly and such stuff. And that is,
but you're going to get that but you're going to get that anyway, right? Because I mean, we had the challenge, right? Okay, when we sat down and like put the timeline together, we need we need feedback from the community. So we figured, well, how are we going to do this? Okay, and it was a case of, right, okay, what we're going to do this, we're going to, we want input from the community. Okay, so we're going to publish the theory, we're going to discuss the theory, get the theory defined so it's as best as we can get it to whatever the community want. Then from the theory, we're going to move on to the implementation. We're going to discuss the implementation, we're going to get it to as best as we can, okay, to support the community, okay, what they want. Me being a member and stuff, and then it's going to go to a vote, and then what we've done is going to go to a vote, and then the community can review it, have a vote, and then it's either yes or no. If it's a no, we move on, right? If it's a yes, we build. Okay, but it's up to the community. Now, okay, we're not in a position, right? We're not in a position where we could have done everything now, and here's the white paper, discuss it today. It's going to go to a vote next week. Yeah, we're not in that position, and one of the reasons why we're not in that position, right? Okay, is resource. Yeah, everything we've done, okay, we've done ourselves, right? Off our own back, spare time, whatever. We've done it because we believe there's potential in doing it. Okay, and it's we don't have. I would say it's like you said, Strath, right? Okay, it's. You'd like to have seen it, okay, as a complete unit, yeah, for you to review and so on, right? Okay, if we had the resource, okay, and if we had the, that's what we'd be doing, but we don't. But also, we want community input as well. Where do we get the community input from? If we don't speak about it. Now, if people want to hype it, great, let them hype it, right? Okay, but that hype stops when it fails, right? When it fails, then it will be, okay, yeah, ceramics, ceramic, yeah. He proposed something, okay, and it went through review and it failed. Okay, fine, it failed. Yeah, then what then? Then it's the next, $1 repeg. From what you're saying, okay, and you kind of agree with me in a way, right? Okay, it's we have to come to terms with the fact that we're not going to be able to repeg today's $1 USDC because it would have been done by now. But for instance, right? I got to say this, right? Okay, is when I published this on the 28th of September, okay, there were 5 different proposals being talked about in different groups on repegging USTC. 5, yeah, different. Okay, I've got here now. We've published, the 0.2 rev of the white paper, and nothing. Yeah, there's talk about alternatives, there's talk about different ideas and suggestions, but there's nothing. And I would argue that we've had 2.5 years of this, of just talk. And we're getting to a point now where we either do something or we acknowledge that it's not going to happen and move on.
Leo, can I bring an input?
Yeah, please do. Yeah, go.
Look, Mark, yeah, we'll take one question from you, but we've got more people. So after your one question, we'll move to the other people.
Yeah, it's just a quick one. Yeah. Why don't we just keep USDC as it is now, and we make a new coin with a new name, with the repeg with on $1, and then you don't have to make a USDC to USDY and etc. because it's gonna be a new coin anyway, and bring into this new paper a goal to bring USDC above $1 and work on this too. I think this is going to be even more bullish. It's just something that I think can be pretty nice. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd be good. It'd be awesome, right? It'd be awesome. I don't think we can do it. I mean, I don't think, okay, we can. Okay, the option to repeg USTC. Okay, well, we can. Yeah, I think if we had like what I think it's like $1.7 billion to inject into it to make it into a self-collateralized stable coin. We could do it if we had the money. Okay, but we don't have the
No, don't
money.
get me wrong. We make or you or we, because we're a
Yeah,
community.
yeah.
We make the new token collateral with $1, right? Wherever it calls.
Well, it has to be self-collateralized, right? So $1.
Yes, yes,
Okay. Yeah,
agree, 100%. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
then you have a $1 token or coin, and that's working $1 perfectly. And then the goal is then bring with this coin or token USTC original one up, and then there's no limit for it. It can make $10, as I said before. It can
How
make
would you
$100 or something like this. But
how would you bring the original one up though from
yeah, then you
2 cents?
can buy back and burn, for example, or whatever. That has to be discussed. It's just an opinion and a question. Why can, instead of changing USDC to USDY and then opening a new USDC and etc., just leave USDC where it is and help brings the price up and make a new token or coin with the new name and then bring this to be stable at $1. So LUNC chain will have a $1 coin to be used, and USDC will keep as it is and will keep on growing. That's just a question of make sense to discuss this thing.
Okay, so so what you're saying is, okay, you create a new coin. Okay, it's that new coin is set at $1, so it's a stable coin, right? We launch it and it's stayed at $1, and then with the USTC today, we just keep it and let it grow in value. Yeah.
Yeah, because it would be almost the same as USDY, isn't it?
Yeah, but then why would they want to? Yeah, the point with this proposal is you would stake, for instance, okay, there's an element in which you can stake USTCY, okay, for the $1 coin, yeah. So you would take so there's a value in it. So, we would hope
Yeah,
that people would then stake it, and then that would increase the value of USTY, right?
Yeah, you could do the same, but just you don't have to rename everything or all around, and make people more confused. You know what I mean?
Okay, so yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying. Okay, I mean, I just think that I just think that. See, the thing with the new $1 stable coin is the way it's constructed is there's an incentive. Okay, if you are a USTC holder today to stake it, yeah, because if you stake it, you'll get the new $1 coin. Now, you've got a use case there, right? For someone who, they can carry on buying and selling and trading. Yeah, they're US like it is at 2 cents today, or they can stake it. Yeah. And then when it hits
Leonardo, I don't want to interrupt you, but I think you misunderstand him. He means skip the renaming. Keep USTC as USTC and create a new token with whatever name it is, because the renaming just causes confusion. That is what he's saying.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, thanks.
So thanks for okay. So what you're saying, okay, is keep everything the same, but okay, yeah. So for instance, you could so the new stable coin would be called something else, not USTC, right? And you keep USTC as
USDN,
USTC.
USD new, for example. Yeah, something like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, okay. That's really good feedback. That's good. That's good. I'll have to discuss it with Ceramic, right? I mean, that's fantastic feedback. Because for me, it's a stable coin, right? And yeah, I can see the benefits of that, because then that avoids confusion. And just with my simplistic salesman head on, right? Okay, you want to avoid confusion where you can. You want to avoid confusion wherever possible. So That's some good feedback. Sorry, can I ask who you are, please?
I'm Luke Market. Yeah, thanks.
No, okay. Do me a favor, right? Could you do me a favor, right, and just DM me? Is that okay? DM me so I don't forget.
Of course, I can do it.
So
Yeah,
on X, so I don't forget, so I can follow up on it. It's good suggestion.
I do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was a really good question. LunaClassic Node, have you got a question? Okay, no questions. So we've been going on for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Final words from Rexy, Vegas, Stratcore before we let Leonardo go?
Yeah, can you hear me again?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting conversation, hasn't it? And, yeah, I mean, let's wait till we see this kind of technical paper come out. I think there's been some really good kind of observations kind of raised and questions and things like that. I know a lot of these questions that have been kind of raised are things that a team that I helped coordinate had kind of come to their own conclusions about. However, I think this new team will have to come to their own, which is fair enough. There has been a massive amount of work done on this in the past, and just to kind of add a bit of clarity to this, a team that I'd helped kind of coordinate and pull together, they have made quite a bit of progress to a strategy to actually repeg USTC. However, what brought that to an end actually was the KYC proposal passing, because there was some people on that, and actually Ceramic came into that group towards the end after most of pretty much all the theory work had been done, and it was at a testing level. But some of the people that was involved in it, such as Ironman, and Ironman is somebody who had more experience of the chain than anybody else, and I think Strath would agree with that, certainly up to that point anyway. These people, that they didn't want to be KYC, however, they were known. So, for instance, Assistant Professor Ed, or Associate Professor Ed, people who know him from the past, he'd been to visit Ironman in reality, shook his hand and stuff like that, so he's known. But it was to do with legislation, fears of reprisals, lots of other things like that. So people at that point did not want to be KYC'd. However, to the team, they were all no. There was only Ceramic that wasn't, and he wanted to keep himself to himself for his own reasons, which is fair enough. So that's what kind of brought that project to an end. But there's sexes created, there's tests done, and there's a slightly different kind of philosophy to it. And now I'm not saying that Leonardo's philosophy isn't right, and it could be a better philosophy. The philosophy the team had that I was involved in was we wanted to bring a product to the community that, as a strategy for repegging USTC, as a byproduct of re-enabling the swaps mechanism to bring value to LUNC. Okay, because that's what we saw as the selling point of the LunaClassic ecosystem. And as part of that, the people that was working on it, they didn't want kudos, they didn't want recognition, glory, anything like that. They just wanted to know that they'd been part of a team that had helped solve a problem, because it was about working for the community. We weren't after any fees or anything like that, because we had our own bags, and our bags were in LUNC, and we thought if we can get the market module going, and we've got some USTC as well, then we'll be pumping our own bags as well as everybody else's. So it was about a community kind of initiative. But it was super careful about and conscious of was, and this is why we made an agreement amongst ourselves that we wouldn't publicise our work, was because we didn't want people pumping into a token like USTC on the hopes of a repeg. It wouldn't work. We get people buying in late on who, let's say there's buying into USTC now at what, 2.5 cents or whatever it is, and then they find out that actually this repeg plan might not work. You could have people that could lose a massive amount of money there, and they bought in on some hopium, which, okay, you can argue and say everybody should do their own research, but from our point of view, because so many people's lives have been through woes by creating extra kind of hopium that we couldn't deliver on. So that's why we wanted to present to the community a, you know,
I'm struggling to hear
slide.
you, Rex. Is it myself or everyone else as well? Can you guys hear Rexy?
Seems he has some issues with the microphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking
Rexy,
in
I
and
think you might
out.
have to come back.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
There was
Yeah.
a question about you, Rexy. There was a question for you about the Terra Casino. Is USTC being added to Terra Casino?
It's that's a good question, isn't it?
Whilst on the USTC topic,
Yeah, so, do you know what? This is actually a bit of an odd one, but I don't know why we never did add it. And you know, I actually can't give you an answer either. I can't say it was due to lack of volatility, too much volatility, price, or what it was. But I think when I originally managed to get the casino on chain, I'd made a legal agreement with the operations team, if you like, that they would burn LUNC. And it was probably because I kind of held them to that legal agreement that's why we ended up putting LUNC in and burning that. But I don't know, maybe there's no reason why we can't have USTC there. It adds a bit more of a use case to it, doesn't it? So yeah, so I don't know. I get there's a massive cost to actually putting tokens into the chain. So for instance, it's into the casino. So for instance, this last month, the last 10 days of this month, we paid out more than $4.5 million worth of tokens. Now, if the casino don't wash its face, somebody has to pay for that. And, you know, it doesn't take too much to work out who's going to pay for it. But you know, in the long term, casinos tend to be able to provide entertainment for a bit of a, you know, as a sustainable business model. So, you know, we may have USTC in the future. I guess what the casino would need to make that viable is it would need the commitment of the community to actually want to use that. So I'll give you an example. So recently we made an approach to Flocky about having and I've never mentioned this to anybody up to now, but we made an agreement with the Flocky team that we'd kind of launch a casino to kind of help them, and as part of that would help bring kind of volume to LUNC as well. However, after all the development was done, the Flocky team decided that actually they didn't want that. And that comes at a massive cost. You've got licensing, all sorts to consider. Now, if we want the community, if we want USTC to be in there, then I think you need a commitment from the community that they will use USTC and they'll help market the casino and you know, help with promotion. It's, you know, if there's a massive amount of volume with it, I guess we could then use. Like we'll do in terms of burning LUNC, we could then maybe burn USTC as well, I suppose. I mean, you know, I like to think the casino's a kind of a community project, really. It's, you know, we kind of work to enrich the community.
cool. No, thanks for answering that, Rexy. Vegas, Rocko, any final question? We'll let Leo go. I know he's been talking for 2.5 hours.
He's done well, and
I just want to add something. LUNC Market become a validator on LUNC. And guys, feel free to give me some delegations, please.
Okay, you came up with a good suggestion. We'll let you show. I mean,
Thanks,
I've not even shown my own project, Juris and the meme coins, but today I think it's dedicated to USTC Repeg.
I know. Just
I won't
people
show
know.
my project.
Thanks.
But you've made a good suggestion. So guys, people, if you're listening, go follow Leonardo, LUNC Market, Rexy, Vegas, everyone that's speaking. We do put a lot
Can I make one point before I disappear, if that's okay?
Yes, we'll give you the final words, Leo. We'll give you the final words. We appreciate your time. But yeah, go ahead. We'll let you have the final word.
Yeah, all I was going to say, right, okay, is just a call to action for everyone here, right, okay, just following on from the idea that was discussed, a while ago, right, okay, if USTC stayed the same, what would you call the new collateral stablecoin? So would you call it USTC2? Would you call it
USTN, UST new, or something like
USTN,
this?
whatever? Yeah, whatever. Okay, just ask the community because I think it's a good idea, actually. I need to run it by Ceramic and stuff, but I actually think it's a good idea. So I'm just wondering, okay, if we, went down that road, what would you call it? I mean, we'd have some suggestions as well, but it'd be good to get some community feedback as well. Yeah, and then the last thing, just to finish off the chat is, thanks for hosting me. It's been 2.5 hours. It's fair enough. I mean, I'm around. I'm sure I'll be back. Okay. As more detail is added, to the, to the proposal. Thanks everyone for your support, efforts, and comments and stuff. Right.
Oh, thanks, Leo. And is it still the target for the 21st for the detailed implementation?
Yeah. That's we need. The thing is, we need a timeline, right? I mean, I'm not one of the world.